Hi, in this tutorial you will see nice little CSS effects, and the languages we have used for this particular animation is HTML and CSS, and this is something you're learning the next level of CSS. Apart from that, you will also see this nice little descendant leaves, and the languages we have used for this particular animation is HTML and CSS. And this is something we have done for the product display, wherein when you keep your mouse on this particular animation or this particular catalog, it just displays the information and the size of the shoe and color of the shoe. And this is something done with more of CSS3, transform effects and transition Y and many more. And you can use this for shopping cart projects, more of shopping cart. Apart from that, we have also done some emoji effects, and we have done some COVID-19 as it's kind of scary in this particular season. So you can see how exactly the eyes of the emojis are turning towards the COVID. And when this COVID goes on top of the emoji, it turns kind of reddish as it's getting scared. So this is an animation we have used HTML, CSS and JavaScript. And for this we have used a video, particular smoke effect, and I've used some CSS effects for this, and this is basically done with HTML and CSS. So, and I'm going to add more of this animations in coming days. I'm going to add more and more topics. The basic idea behind this learning is you can reach out of the box and learn something which you can extend your limitations on CSS. Welcome to my course. Myself, I'm V. Praveen Kumar. I personally would like to thanks for watching or joining the course. I make all of these classes myself. There is no big company or corporation behind this. I have a nice little home studio setup. I love creating, programming, launching, learning and teaching. I've got more than 15 years of experience as a complete full stack developer. I also train at Amit, and you can see this is where I take my classes on a daily basis. I answer all the questions posted to the class twice a day, so please feel free to post any question, and in most cases, I'll have an answer for you within 48 hours. That's it. Thanks again and have fun in the course. Hi, in this tutorial, you're going to see how exactly this particular beautiful wave effects will be added. The languages used for this is HTML and CSS. So to do this, first we will develop a HTML document and add some CSS effects to this particular page. So I'll see you on the next video, and I'll explain you how exactly this beautiful animation will be done. So hi, last class we have completed this HTML document. So let's get started with CSS. So first of all, I'm going to make my padding and margin 0 pixel. So I'm going to use margin 0. And then we are going to add padding 0. Now that we have this, let's go and connect to my body element, and to the body tag I'm going to add display flex. Okay, so we are going to say flex, and then I'm going to use justify content center. Now let's go and see whether my HTML page is getting affected this information or not. So currently this information won't show anything. The reason is because the HTML page has got no data at all. So I'm going to say hello world. Now when I run this, the information is still left, whereas I have said in my CSS it should go center. The reason behind this is we haven't connected CSS file to my HTML page. So we are going to connect it, and I'm going to say style.css. So let's see. Yes, we have this center. Now apart from that, I'm going to make the align items center, which is vertically center, but at this point of time it's not coming to the center of the page because it's a span tag which takes only the line height. I want the complete height and then make it center, align items. So what I'll do is I'm just going to say minimum height, min height, and I'm going to say 100 VH. Now that makes the information center. So let's see. So we are currently on the center of the box. So now that we have an idea about that, I don't want to use hello world. So though we are center, you won't be seeing anything on the page. but I'm going to add some background, and I'm going to use a kind of HS1 selection. Okay, and this needs a hue, saturation and lightness. The hue I'm going to use 234, saturation 62%, and the lightness of the color I'm going to use is 70%. Okay, so let's go and see how exactly the page will look like. So this is what we have as a screen. Now we have a wave. You can see this div has got wave. So I'm going to target dot wave, and I'm going to come here and say position relative, and then we will go and say width. I'm going to control width is 300 pixel, height 300 pixel, and then what we'll do is we'll just go to this particular span dot wave, and I'm going to say span. Okay, to the span I'm going to use position absolute, and then we will go with display block, and then I'm going to say border 5 pixel solid white. So let's go and run it. Okay, so we have this particular border 5 pixel solid white. So now that we have done this, I'm going to add a shadow over here. So it's kind of very small, but you have to be attentive to watch that shadow. So what I'll do is I'll come here and just keep it here, box shadow. Okay, to the box shadow I'm going to use 0 as x-axis, y-axis 5 pixel, and blurriness, this is 0, and this is my silver color. Okay, so there won't be much of difference between the color. We have white border and a silver background, shadow. So let's go and run it, and please watch here, this will change here at the bottom. We have got the shadow over there. Now that we have done that, I'm going to use some border radius, and I'm going to go and say 50% I want the radius. So when you run this, the one which is a border, which is a square, is now going to be circle motion. So now this is done. What all I have to do is I have to reach each and every element within the span. So we have 15 span tags within this div, which is a class wave. So to reach this, I'm going to say wave span, but there are many spans. So I want to reach the first span. So let's get started. So I'm going to go here and say dot wave span. So this will go to all the elements, but I want to reach the first element. So I'm going to use nth child of first element within the span. So I'm going to say top 0, and I'm going to say left 0, and I'm going to say bottom 0, and I'm going to say right 0. So now that we have done this, let's go and see. This is going to go and extend top, right, bottom within 300. So if you see here, we have this width and height 300 of the div. Now this spans will affect edges all sides. So when I run it, this is something like this. Now that this circle border is there, what I will do is I'm going to go and make some information over here. So over here in the height of wave, which is 300, I want this to be like transform style. I want this to have a 3D effect, okay? And I'm going to go with preserve 3D, okay? So now that we have done this, let's go and see. So it's not changing it. I want this to change till here. So what I'll do is I'm going to use transform. And I'm going to use perspective, and I'm going to say that it should go 500 pixel and rotate towards x-axis of 60 degrees. Let's go and see. So this is done as a rotation, okay? So this is something, a 3D view. Now that we have done this, let's go and animate it. So I'm going to keep it here, something around here. I'm going to go and animate it. animation, and the name of the animation I'm going to use is animate, and that has to complete its animation every 3 seconds with ease in and out, and that too with infinity without ever stopping it. So I've got an animation with the name animate. So if you run this, it won't change anything, see? So what I do is, I want this animation to go and finish its journey infinity, means never ending, but this will not work by itself. Animation won't work itself. So you need to add some keyframes, okay? So let me add some keyframes. So I'm going to come here and add some keyframes at keyframes. Now which element you want to target or which animation? So keyframes, I'm taking this name. This is very important. The animation name should match to the keyframes. So this is my animate name. And what I'll do is, I'm going to come here and say at 0% as a beginning point till 100%. Okay, till 100%. I want this to go with transform, and I want to translate it towards z-axis, and that to minus 100 pixel. Okay, so let's watch how exactly this is going to work. But that too from 0 to 100. But what I want is, I want to go and animate at 50% of the keyframes. It should go again transform, that to z-axis, and this time it should not go with negative value but positive number. Let's go and run it. So this is done very well, okay, but I want different waves. Okay, so at this point of time we have first, second, third, fourth. In this way we have 15 elements. So what I'll do is, I'll just come to the coding and go to CSS, and here in my keyframe I will copy this and just make it second element. That's my second element out of span. This is second, and let's not waste our time. So what I'll do is, I'm going to go and say this values which are 0, I will increase to every plus 1 element till 15. I will increase 10 pixels. So this is 10 pixel, and I'm going to make this one also 10 pixel. Okay, and I'm going to keep it here 10 pixel for this one also, and for this one also we are going to make 10 pixel. So let's go and see, there is a kind of circle motion gap of 10 pixel. Okay, let me refresh it. So here this is, but they should be like, it should not be on the same line. There should be a little bit difference between first and second element. So what I will do is, I'll just add here, I'm going to make a difference of animation delay . Animation delay, I will say 1.6 seconds, and I will copy it and paste it here. This animation delay, I want to make it to 1.5 seconds. So you should understand the first element, which has got 0, 0, 0 as the dimensions of edges, has been increased to second element plus 10 pixel, and the delay time is getting decreased. So values are increasing here, okay, but the animation delay is 1.6 is decreased to 1.5 pixel. So let's go and run it. Okay, so this is something we have done. Now what I'll do is, further not me writing all 15 at a time, I will do a little bit like making my video a little bit fast. So please don't mind, I'm going to write 15 elements, so it's kind of consuming time. I have to not waste your time. So all I will do is, I'm going to make every time an element is increased 1, 2, in this way I'm going to increase 15 elements. I'm going to add plus 10 here, and I'm going to decrease 1 second. This is 6, 5, like that. So let's do it. So copy, and I'm going to paste it. So these particular elements are all set now. Now let's go and run it and see whether the wave motion is affected or not. So when you see this beautiful animation is working, but there's something we just got missed. Anyhow, this is also very beautiful. I loved it. With my mistake, I don't know, but something has got mistake. But yeah, that's very beautiful. I loved it. But anyhow, as promised, the wave has to go. Seriously, I love this animation very beautifully. But this is somewhere I'm skipping. I think this one I'm skipping it. Maybe some value I missed out, or maybe the delay time is too exceeded. You have to check that exceedation, right? So what we'll do is we'll see somewhere we have added some exceeding point or not. Obviously you can see here this is 0.7. I'm on somewhere around 14-15. All are getting decreased, but somewhere I think we have this 1.6 delay time. Actually this is 0.8, this is 0.7. This has to be like 0.6, not 1.6. okay, so this is like 0.6. now rest of the elements I hope they are 0.6, 0.5, so everything is same. So let's go and refresh it. As promised, the wave animation is perfectly done. So this is something we have done only with HTML and CSS. I hope you like this animation, though I'm sorry I've taken a lot of time to do this, but it was essential to write each and every line for you. But anyhow, I hope you liked it, and I'll see you on the next video. Hi friends, in this session we are going to learn about how exactly we are going to do this particular animation using HTML and CSS. I've used some of the animations which are transform and keyframes to build this particular animation. So in coming session of the video, we will first develop the structural HTML document, and vice versa we'll develop the CSS file for this particular animation. So I'll see you on the next video. Hi friends, in this particular tutorial we will see how exactly this particular catalog or product is being displayed. Basically you can use this on a shopping cart project where you can display the product, and this is something which I have given a nice little hover effect wherein you can see a little bit of transparent spots, and whenever I hover it, this particular information of the shoes which is belonging to tennis shoes with the size, and when I hover it, it displays the size number with the color effect and which color you want to choose and a buy now button. So basically this is something we are going to display on this particular tutorial. So we'll first develop the structure of a HTML, and then we will add CSS to this particular product on a next video with HTML as my first file. So I'll see you on the next video. Hi, in this tutorial you are going to learn a nice emoji animation. We call this as emojis, and as the COVID-19 problem is already going on, I thought of doing this nice little animation. So if you see this emojis and the mouse pointer, so these things are like when a COVID is going on emoji, it's kind of scary. So I have done this using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So if you see the eyes of the emojis, it's just kind of tracking the COVID. So it's kind of fun. And if you want to learn this, we have to be aware of HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So let's get started, and the first thing I'm going to develop is a HTML document. Further continuing, we will add CSS to design the page, and then we will add JavaScript to work with the effects of whatever we are looking for. So I'll see you on the next video. Until then, bye-bye. Hi friends, in this tutorial you will learn how exactly you can do this particular animation. The languages used for this is HTML and CSS, and I have added one video also for this framing to have this smoke effect. I hope you understood this, and we are going to learn this effects in this particular session. And I'll see you on the next video. And first we will develop a HTML document, and then we'll further proceed with CSS. Until then, bye-bye.